Anger is not the problem, it's the symptom. Symptom of what?
Anger itself is a symptom. When a person is angry, you go and ask them what's underneath the anger, they'll always say, I'm hurt.
There are men, there are boys who are sexually, mentally harassed in some point or the other.
They get tortured in silence because no one believes a man could have gotten raped, a man could have been sexually abused. At such a young age, when you go through trauma, and especially through sexual abuse and trauma on that level, it just puts you in a spot where you don't know who to trust. He used to come home as my tutor and sexually abuse me for over a year. It wasn't one episode. One day my mother kind of gauged कि यहाँ कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है. And she asked me in a very blanket statement, are you okay? You want this person to come and teach you? I said no. But the problem was, she threw the man out, but they never spoke to me about it. Their silence actually turned it around for me and I thought I was at fault.
Hi Madhvi, welcome to Neha Kumra's show. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me here. And I'm very well and gorgeous studio and you're looking superbly beautiful.
Thank you so much, and so are you. I love this sari that you're wearing. Beautiful color.
Thank you.
Before we begin, I would like to know a little bit about you. So, 20 years, 12,000 clients, 4 coach awards. How did this all happen and where did it all begin from?
As beautiful as it may look like today, it wasn't so glorious back then. Every healer's journey goes through its own darkness and so did mine. तो full darkness and full अंधेरे में से निकल कर यहाँ तक पहुँची. But that's how every healer's journey is, I believe. I mean, it can't be any other way. So how it looked like before all of this happened was a lot of trauma, a lot of unhealed wounds, a lot of confusion and a lot of heartbreaks and despair.
I'm sure, we all go through something. It's just that when we realize it's the time that we start healing ourselves first and then start teaching others and healing others. Beautiful. Madhi, before you became India's leading trauma healer that, people call you today, you were a teenager. I would say in crisis.
Very much.
How did it feel like at that moment?
Well, life back then, I didn't even know where I was heading. Genuinely, जब आप at such a young age, when you go through trauma and especially through sexual abuse and trauma on that level, it just puts you in a spot where you don't know who to trust. The first thing that you want to hold on to is some kind of appreciation, some kind of love, some kind of validation. And as a teenager, I was looking for validation. Because I had seen so much rejection, तो मैं wait करती थी कि at least कोई तो मुझे बोल दे that Madhavi, you're so good. And in that quest to look for validation and approval, I kept making wrong choices in my life. हम सब भी तो यही कर रहे हैं ना. Like everybody that comes to us today is also going through the same stage that I was once in. So back then when I was a teenager, I would put myself into really horrible situations unknowingly. And I was attracting them because those life lessons were shaping me to become the person I am today. Without those dark dense moments, मैं ये इंसान बन ही नहीं सकते थे नेहा. हो ही नहीं सकता था कि 20 years of doing this work. I mean, people ask me, how do you even sit and listen to such horrible stories, because I deal with trauma and I don't deal with regular situations. मेरे पास situations वो आती है जो beyond expectation हो जाती हैं. So that happened only because I had seen that. I had dealt with it. I had felt it. I had gone through it myself for me to know how horrible it feels there.
So you actually had to live those moments every day.
Yes, I did.
Which you maybe hear in someone's story today.
Yes.
What was the exact moment when you felt that you can heal yourself and become a healer?
Every day, Neha. You know, I always say the birth of a healer is in the darkest hour. जब आपकी life में कुछ इतना horrible हो रहा होता है ना, the first person you meet who is going through something difficult in their life, your first approach is to go and tell them, hey, you know what, can I help you? I know what it feels like. And that's exactly how I started. Matlab, at the age of 13, I was sexually abused. At the age of 16, I had seen authority abuse. By the time I was 19, I was beaten up black and blue, ended up with a fractured nose in a life-threatening situation. By the time I was 19, by the time I was 20, I was a natural counselor and a healer to so many.
What was that one day that you felt, this is what I need? This will cure me.
I remember I was 18 and about to end my life. And I tried several times. I mean, it wasn't just one time that I tried several times. And I'm saying this, on air in these words. But I know, I mean, please do not try this at all. I mean, you should never get to that state. If you are feeling like that, I did not have the help, but there was a divine intelligence that saved me. But if you ever be in that spot, please seek help immediately. And I have to say this as a disclaimer because we don't know who's watching and what they are receiving from this conversation. So when I was in that moment, Neha, there was a picture of my guru in my cupboard. And I looked at that picture and I said, either you take me out of this situation or end my life because I can't take this pain anymore. And something happened miraculously the very next morning. One prayer, and somebody came to rescue me. And somebody put me out in a situation where I was back with my parents, and my parents took over in that situation, and they held me through, and they helped me, and they sent me away from the city so that I could be safe. I was in a life-threatening situation back then. So my parents came to my rescue and they saved me out of it, and my prayers were answered. And as much as I may sound cliched, but trust me, when you are in the deepest and the darkest hour of your life, your prayers can definitely save you. And if you have that tiny faith, that one tiny flicker, if you just follow that light, is enough to save somebody's life.
Totally agree. And I think sanity at that moment is the lifesaver. You pray to, get things back, because at the end of the day, universe wants you to just ask. It's
That's
there.
all. You said it very rightly, Neha. उस moment में exactly मैंने क्या किया था? That I did not take the action that my mind was telling me to.
Yeah.
And in fact, I surrendered to that tiny flicker of light that I felt. I surrendered to that light in that moment. And that light became big enough to save my life.
Because that was his plan.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. You did not go by your plan.
Yes, absolutely. I relied on God's plan at that moment.
Most people think trauma is something very dramatic, and something really big has to happen. Everybody has to know about it, and it has to be the talk of the town. There are a lot of silent traumas that we all go through. Anybody who's going through a silent trauma, what is it that you would like to share with them from your own experience?
देखो ट्रॉमा ना होता बिगी है. वो बाहर देखने में टाइनी सिचुएशन दिख सकती है, मगर उसका इम्पैक्ट बहुत बड़ा होता है. दैट्स व्हाट वी कॉल ट्रॉमा. तो ट्रॉमा का ना मैग्नीट्यूड हम उसके एक्सटर्नल इम्पैक्ट या एक्सटर्नल धमाका या एक्सटर्नल एक्सप्लोजन से मेजर नहीं कर सकते हैं. उसका मेजरमेंट सिर्फ इतना ही है दैट हाउ डीप इट हैज कट यू थ्रू. दैट्स how big a trauma is. So it may look like a very mundane situation on the surface कि किसी को किसी के साथ compare कर दिया या किसी को नीचा दिखा दिया या somebody felt rejected in that particular moment. But the impact of that one tiny feeling that someone gave you and the impact you took internally, that's what is trauma.
What are the signs that somebody is carrying an unresolved trauma? Can you make out?
All of us could be carrying unresolved trauma. Trauma दो categories में measure किया जाता है या उसको categorize किया जाता है as per psychology. One is the big T trauma, जिसका मतलब ये है कि वो वाले episodes जिनको हम बड़ी clearly देख सकते हैं, जिनको हम pinpoint करके बोल सकते हैं, yes, something really big and something really horrible happened. That means externally देखने में आपको visually और mentally समझ में आ रहा है that something horrible has happened. On the other hand, there are these tiny situations that are not explosions but are implosions. Those implosions are what we call small t trauma. Those tiny situations, उनका जो impact होता है ना नेहा, वो बहुत गहरा होता है and that never leaves you.
That haunts you every day.
It just keeps going on internally and it's a very deep-seated internal wound that starts to navigate your whole life. It becomes the GPS of your life and it becomes the driver of your life and you don't even know you're being driven by your unhealed wounds. For example, कोई इंसान जिसको उसके बचपन में punishment मिली बोलने के लिए, वो आज as an adult बोल ही नहीं पा रहा है, अपने मन की फीलिंग ही एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पा रहा है, अपने घर वालों के ऊपर ट्रस्ट करके उनको अपना सच नहीं बता पा रहा है ना. ये तो आई मीन यू कांट इवन इमेजिन कि क्या इस इंसान के बचपन में कुछ ऐसा हुआ हो सकता है. यू विल ओनली से दिस पर्सन इज नॉट एक्सप्रेसिव और दिस पर्सन इज एन इंट्रोवर्ट और दिस पर्सन डजंट टॉक मच. We'll simply look at it as their personality, but we may never even question कि इसके जड़ में कुछ और था. Maybe that person is still carrying the weight of that tiny wound that happened in their childhood. So when I say that all of us are carrying wounds unknown, you know, ऐसी कितनी सारी situations हुई होंगी जिनको हमने बैठकर address नहीं किया.
बहुत
But
सारे
they've
हैं.
happened and they've had an impact, and we don't even get to understand उसका impact कितना है until we face a situation of the similar nature. हमें उसका magnitude नहीं समझ में आता, but उसका magnitude बहुत deep होता है.
It actually makes you a different person. It just changes your personality, which surface level पे नहीं दिखाई देती.
You know, all your decisions are driven by your trauma. All your decisions, be it big or small. Starting from what kind of work you choose, what kind of profession you're in, what kind of money you make, what kind of relationship you're in, what kind of a boss you attract, what kind of a friend circle you have, where do you live, how do you operate, what are your daily choices, how do you decide for yourself what's good for me, what's not good for me. All of that is driven by your unhealed wounds that are sitting deep inside you and are driving everything, even as tiny as shopping for yourself. What you buy for yourself is driven by what you have gone through. All your choices will be driven by that.
Yeah, I mean, most of it is something that you experience. You just don't talk about it.
Probably you don't even know how deeply it is embedded inside you.
Up to an extent, एक normal इंसान उतना सोचता भी नहीं है, उसको उतना deeply connect भी नहीं करते. हम अपने आप से ही नहीं connect करते कि हम अपने आप से connect करके अपने आप को समझने की कोशिश करें.
हम अपने आप को ना समझना चाहते भी है ना तो शायद नहीं समझ पाते, because everybody wants, it's like we're like living in the era of chat GPT. But we've already had a chat GPT in our own head which had made us the hero of our stories already. तो हम अपने आप के ऊपर critical भी नहीं होते, हम अपने आप को question भी नहीं करते. Whatever the thought process shows up, we believe it to be true. We don't even ever question that, is this even true for me?
You know, healing is okay. आप heal कर जाते हो, सब कुछ कर जाते हो, but कहीं ना कहीं जो आपने देखा है, जो आपने सुना है या जो आपके साथ हुआ है, वो आपके अंदर रह जाता है. It takes a lot of time to take it out of you. And आज आप trauma healing कर रहे हो. But somewhere when you talk about your own trauma, there is some voice shift in you that I see. Because you become like a warrior. You're like, जिसने जो किया, अब मेरे हर word उसको उस बात का जवाब देगा. We all go through some kind of trauma. Trauma में ना, मैं चलो पेरेंट्स के गुस्सा करने को या हमारे को तो हमारा ब्रिंगिंग अप तो बहुत डिफरेंट एरा में था. आज हम बच्चों को कुछ नहीं बोलते हैं. आज किसी को ज़रा सा भी ऊंची आवाज़ में बोल दो तो ऐसा लगता है अरे ट्रॉमा ना हो जाए मेरे बच्चे को. हमें तो जूते चप्पल भी पड़ते थे, हमने तो झाड़ुएं भी खाई हैं. एक जो सबसे ज़्यादा मतलब मुझे भी आज जो एक चीज़ इम्पैक्ट करती है, आई हैव अ डॉटर. आई नो हाउ इट वॉज while growing up, being a girl, what it was. Sexual harassment बहुत बड़ा वर्ड बना दिया है. Sexual harassment हर घर में हो रही थी और सबसे क्लोज लोगों के साथ में हो रही थी. मतलब it was as bad as कि अगर आप अपने घर के दरवाजे पे भी खड़े हो ना, तो कोई आएगा आगे से निकल जाएगा आपके साथ कुछ मतलब कुछ करता हुआ निकल जाएगा. ठीक है, I don't know the right words for it, but चला जाएगा. These people who are like me, how do we manage that trauma that we have somewhere deep rooted, unspoken. The other day I was sitting with my friends and I was telling her that I'm interviewing a trauma healer, and they all started telling their stories, and everybody had a common thing. अब हमारी भी बेटी है, अब हमारे को वो सारी memories ना वापस आ जाती हैं. ये हमारे साथ होता था, अब हमें हर कोई गलत लगता है. How do people like us deal with all this?
I'll tell you my story. I have a daughter. She's 18. And what you're describing, I've gone through a similar situation in my life. And in fact, when did I speak up was only when she went through something like this. मैं बहुत सालों से काम कर रही हूँ. 20 साल से ऊपर हो चुकी हैं. To be precise, 23 years. All these years, I used to think कि मेरा ये wound तो मैं heal कर चुकी हूँ. इसके बारे में मैंने internally बहुत काम किया, I let conflict. I let it out with at least, letting it happen, all of that. But when my daughter was 15, she came back from school one day and she said, Mom, someone harassed me sexually. She made me and my husband sit down and she spoke to both of us. Now, as much as I was proud for my daughter to come back and tell me all of this, my heart broke in that moment. Because I was so confident that I have done the work as a healer. But trust me, the kind of work that is needed for this particular wound is a very different kind of a work. And why I started this work called trauma healing. When she came back to me, I realized one thing कि मैंने इतने सालों में जो काम किया था ना, उसका impact अभी भी in the next generation में जा चुका है. And I haven't dealt with it in the DNA. I haven't healed it on an intergenerational trauma level. मैंने अपने तक तो काम कर लिया था. But what about the impact? जो silently one generation से next पे चला जाता है, and you don't give it जानबूझ के. It does not even seek your permission. It just travels through in the DNA. Trauma passes through in the DNA without your permission. When a baby is born, this information travels down to the next generation without your permission. No mother, no father would ever want to pass it down. But when it is going down in the DNA, जब आपका बच्चा जैसे आपके जैसा दिखता है, आपके जैसा आपके values दिखता है, तो अकेले से कुछ जो है ना, the bad and the ugly, everything comes through in the DNA, the good, bad and the ugly. जो मेरे लाइफ के स्ट्रगल्स है, जो मेरे हस्बैंड के लाइफ के स्ट्रगल्स है, जो पेन पॉइंट्स है, जो अनहील वो उनका वो भी चाहते हैं. This was my time for me to understand what intergenerational trauma actually means. And that's exactly where I started working on this particular wound, not on her, but on myself first. Around that time, there was a situation that arose that made me stand up for myself. Because my abuser was somebody known to my family, very dearly trusted by my family, and some of my family members also cited by my perpetrator. So here was my moment कि मैंने internally healing तो बहुत सारी करनी थी. This was my moment to take a stand for myself. Healing is not always flowers and love and light. Healing sometimes also means taking up space, holding yourself up in dignity, standing up for yourself and fighting it out. And this was my moment to fight it out. And when I did that, it turned my daughter's energy around. She was able to handle her situation all by herself without anybody's intervention. And when she spoke up, when I spoke up, she spoke up. When she spoke up, my mother spoke up. We were 3 generations sitting and talking about the same thing. And I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure my grandmothers would have also gone through something like this, but they never had the opportunity, the space, the environment and the acceptance to even talk about it. So my grandmother said, when I stood up for myself, she said, "Beta miti pao aage badho, tum boli nahi abhi tak is baat." And that was proof enough that how she dealt with her own wounds. At first, it definitely angered me a lot, but then I had a lot of compassion for her in my heart.
Because she lived that every day.
Maybe she's living with so much and she doesn't even know how to express it. Maybe she doesn't even have that safe space to even talk about things that she faced in her life.
Back then, I think nobody had.
And it's generations. हमें तो पता भी नहीं, आधे से ज़्यादा stories तो हमें
हमारी
पता भी नहीं है.
generation भी यही बोल बोल के आगे बढ़ती आई है. मिट्टी पाओ, छोड़ो परे, you know. This has been
But
done.
even if you say it छंडो परे and let it go or brush it under the carpet and move on, say कि नहीं बड़ी पुरानी बात होगी, अब तो छोड़ दो, आगे बढ़ जाओ. But the impact doesn't go away. It travels down the bloodline. And that's where it becomes dangerous. And that's exactly where my problem started. That despite me telling कि मैंने तो काम कर लिया, मैंने तो बहुत काम कर लिया, मैंने तो अपने wounds heal कर लिए, but it has traveled down, boss. What do I do when I see the same wound coming through the next generation? I felt I failed. It was a horrible feeling for me to deal with. But then the only thing that turned around was the healing that happened between the 3 generations as mothers and daughters, and as me as a woman, and as my daughter as a woman, and my mother as a woman. Today, we stand tall, and we acknowledge our wounds, and we talk about it out, and we don't shy. It wasn't my fault. The whole problem is, Neha, कि जब किसी की लाइफ में sexual abuse आता है ना, तो जिसके साथ हुआ होता है ना, victim को ही blame किया जाता है. Today, I stand tall and talk about it to call a spade a spade. Who should be ashamed? The abuser, not the one who got abused. So why should I be afraid of anything or anybody?
And you know, एक वो stigma भी लगा देते हैं ना कि अगर आपने, if you go and speak about it, people will think, oh, you know, she's been
touched wrongly. Yeah. And you know what? That's the exact opposite that has happened with me. People have loved me, hugged me, respected me for speaking up. Because when I spoke up, my community had the opportunity and a safe space to start talking about it. I've had women and men and girls and boys come up and talk about their sexual abuses. I've had grown-up men come back and tell me they were raped. And that's not small.
I mean, we only talk about women's sexual harassment, but there are men, there are boys who are sexually, mentally harassed in some point or the other.
They get tortured in silence because no one believes a man could have gotten raped, a man could have been sexually abused. And who are these people abusing these boys? Are the family members. And you never think of protecting a boy. You say, ये तो लड़का है ना, लड़कियों को बचा के रखो. नहीं, protect the boys equally. They are human beings, girls or boys. Please grow up beyond gender. If dogs are not safe, I mean, what horrible stories we get to hear, yeah.
This dog story was really bad.
Horrible. These are horrible. And those innocent animals, yeah. Abuse is happening on so many levels and with such innocent beings.
They did not wear short clothes.
I wish. No, it's never about short clothes. It is never about short clothes. It's about they did not retaliate. The power that comes with standing up for yourself sets the standard for yourself of what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate in your life. And whatever you tolerate, trust me, whatever you tolerate is exactly what you're creating in your life.
Whatever you are accepting is becoming your life.
If you're tolerating and normalizing abuse and saying कि चलो चलो hush hush, don't talk about it, ये तो family matter है ना, घर की इज्जत की बात है, then you're tolerating abuse. आप एक जगह से निकल कर दूसरी जगह में फिर abuse attract करोगे. If you don't stand up for yourself, you will never put an end to it.
That reminds me of that movie Dear Zindagi. This is what exactly it was. That chocolate khaogi. That's how it all starts. And then you never know where it goes. You have no idea. And it's like...
That's exactly how it started with me. This man who used to come home was a full-grown adult when I was a 13-year-old kid. He used to come home as my tutor and sexually abuse me for over a year. It wasn't one episode. So, you know, things kept happening. And I couldn't break free from it. One day my mother kind of gauged कि यहाँ कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है. And she asked me in a very blanket statement, are you okay? You want this person to come and teach you? I said no. Are you feeling safe? I said no. But the problem was, she threw the man out. वो सब तो कर लिया उन्होंने. But they never spoke to me about it. They never sat me down and had a heart-to-heart conversation कि बेटा, are you okay? हुआ क्या तो कोई नहीं पूछता ना. कैसे पूछ ले नेहा? It's such a taboo topic to talk about. If your daughter has gone through a sexual abuse situation, how can you ask your daughter, बेटा क्या हुआ था?
I think that is the first step.
That's the first thing I wanted to hear from my parents. Yeah. I wanted that hug from my parents for them to tell me, जो भी हुआ, it wasn't your mistake.
हम हमेशा यही बोलते थे ना कि तुमने ही कोई साइन दिया होगा.
Their silence actually turned it around for me and I thought I was at fault. Why? Because that man had threatened me. कि अगर ये बात बाहर आ गई, अगर ये बात तुमने किसी को बता दी, I will go and tell them you were the first one to approach me. And then as a 13-year-old child, I got really scared that what if he had said this to them and they had believed it without explanation. This 13-year-old mind started living in anxiety. This 13-year-old mind went through depression silently, alone, and struggled with studies, struggled at school, became a shutdown kid. And then we questioned कि हमारे बच्चे का ना पढ़ाई में interest नहीं आ रहा. Then parents send their children to me and then I get to discover that the child has gone through so much more. But the parents come to me and tell me, हमारे बच्चे का focus नहीं बन रहा है. If you have conversations at home where your children can actually fall back on you and speak up whatever they are experiencing or whatever their fears and worries and cares are, a whole lot of things will never happen to them.
You know, sometimes parents try to do their best, but पेरेंट्स की भी उतनी नॉलेज नहीं होती या शायद उनकी भी कंडीशनिंग उतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं है. उनका भी एक सेट पैटर्न चलता आ रहा है जिसके हिसाब से वो चल रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने भी वही सीखा है. सो बिफोर यू सेंड योर चाइल्ड फॉर एनी हीलिंग लाइक यू डिड, फर्स्ट यू हील योरसेल्फ.
And then I took my daughter to a therapist and I put her into coaching and I put her into a program where she could heal her wounds. I mean, her healing on her level was important, but where did it had to begin? It had to begin with me because I was the starting point of it.
Our parents have mostly done the best for us, but somewhere उनका बेस्ट करना भी ना हमारे लिए डैमेजिंग हो जाए. जिसे हम कहते हैं ना कि छोड़ो, मूव ऑन करो. उन अपने हिसाब से वो ठीक ही बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि उनकी नॉलेज भी शायद उतनी ही है, बट इस बारे में पहले कोई बात नहीं करता था. आज हम बात कर रहे हैं. क्या ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो पेरेंट्स को अपने बच्चों के साथ करनी चाहिए ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस जस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि वो माधवी की तरह 1 साल तक उस फेज में ना चले?
मैं रूट कॉज के बारे में बात करती हूँ. मैं टेम्पररी सॉल्यूशंस और सरफेस लेवल के बारे में बात ही नहीं करती हूँ. द फर्स्ट थिंग एनी पेरेंट नीड्स टू डू इज गो and heal themselves. The root cause. क्यों अगर बच्चे की लाइफ में ऐसे सिचुएशन आ रही है is because there has been some kind of pattern of abuse running in the family, either through the mother or through the father. So the first root cause to handle is to go through your own healing journey before you go and even want to help your child. The moment you start healing on your own inner journey, that is where your behavior will shift, the energy environment of your home will shift. There will be more space for the child to come back to you and even trust you. The gap between a parent and a child is primarily because the parent has not worked on themselves. And so the parent is not able to give out that kind of safety. आज अगर मेरा बच्चा मेरे पास बात करने के लिए आ पाया was only for a fact that she had seen me working on my wounds, acknowledging my wounds, healing through them, doing the real work.
In simple terms, it's okay to talk about anything in the house.
100%. Why do we shy away from reality? हम क्यों इतनी प्रिटेंस में जीते हैं और कि हमारे बच्चों को यही नहीं पता कि हमारी लाइफ के स्ट्रगल्स क्या हैं, या हम रियलिटी में किस चीज से डील कर रहे हैं, या हमारे रिलेशनशिप की रियलिटी क्या है, या हमारी फाइनेंशियल रियलिटी क्या है. डू यू थिंक द चिल्ड्रन डोंट नो? एनर्जेटिकली एवरी चाइल्ड नोज एवरीथिंग, whether we tell them or not. तो बेहतर ये है ना कि बैठ के बात कर लो.
And the more we talk about it, I think they come as a support. They come and talk to you when they are dealing with such situations. So किसी को भी comfort करने के लिए हम यही करते हैं, पहले अपनी problems बता दें, अपने fears बता दें, तभी वो अपने fears बताने में comfortable होंगे.
You know, I had done one podcast with somebody and they asked me a very beautiful question कि हम बात तो करते हैं कि हमें we want to heal with our parents, but how do we actually go and do it? और अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ हम बात करो, हम सब सुनते हैं बात करो बात करो बात करो, करें कैसे? The only way for you to help somebody open up with you is that you open up with them first. अगर आप चाहते हो कि आपका बच्चा आपसे बात करे ना, तो सबसे पहले आप खुद जाकर अपना दिल खोलो अपने बच्चे के साथ. You don't have to tell them the struggles of everything, but at least be truthful to them. At least have heart-to-heart conversations. The moment your child will start feeling that, okay, my parents can trust me and they open up to me, the child will also want to do the same with you. That's the one thing that every family needs to inculcate is talking time.
Yeah, this reminds me, I'm a movie buff. Whenever we talk about some scenario, ना मेरे दिमाग में ना suddenly एक movie का scene चलना शुरू हो जाता है. This reminds me of दिल धड़कने दो. She could not tell her mother
Absolutely.
because mother ने ही कभी बात नहीं करी इस बारे में, तो लगता था कि इस बारे में बात नहीं करनी होती. वो pills खा रही है, not to have a baby,
Yes.
but वो बात नहीं करेगी.
Nobody's telling each other what their inner reality is.
She asks the mother point blank, आपने छोड़ा क्यों नहीं?
Correct.
आपको तो पता था ना पापा के affairs के बारे में. The mother replies again, brushing
She
it
wants
under
to
the-
shut it off. She wants to shut off the conversation.
and she says क्योंकि वो easy था. But tough, वो ज़्यादा tough था I think. मतलब छोड़ के बाहर निकला, रहना easy होता है. पता नहीं सबका अपना easy है, सबका अपना tough है. But somewhere I feel until and unless you don't talk to your kids, the kids will not talk to you. They need to, I mean,
You have to provide the premise first.
Yeah.
जैसे आपको अपने बच्चे को खाना खिलाना है, उसकी देखभाल करनी है, उसको बड़ा करना है, उसके लिए एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करनी है, उसके लिए सेफ्टी क्रिएट करनी है, वैसे ही कॉन्वर्सेशन भी आप क्रिएट करोगे पहले. The child will not come up to you first.
yeah, you have to tell them this is all right to talk about. Yeah. Survivors of child abuse carry certain amount of shame, which is just their own. Nobody can understand it. How deeply it has affected you, only you can understand. How bad you're feeling about it, only you can understand. How do you begin helping such people and such kids or such survivors?
शेम सर्वाइव करने के लिए ना सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है जब आप उसको ब्रश अंडर द कार्पेट कर देते हो और आप उसको एक्नॉलेज नहीं करते हो. दैट्स द ओनली प्लेस शेम कैन सर्वाइव. अगर शेम को ख़त्म करना है ना, एक्नॉलेज व्हाट इट इज़. द ईजिएस्ट वे टू हील शेम इज़ प्रोवाइड समबडी विद अ सेफ एनवायरनमेंट for them to talk about it. That's the easiest way to heal shame. Shame इतना internal deep wound होता है that the other person may not even know that I am carrying shame inside me. It doesn't show. Nobody can know that you're carrying shame inside you. But it cuts through every single cell of your body. It cuts through your heart so deeply that it runs at the back of your mind internally 24/7.
While you are healing someone as a healer, आपको पता चल जाता है.
My meter to check whatever they're feeling is when I start feeling the same feeling internally. as a healer, you're an empath. And the moment the client starts to talk or they sit in front of you, you just get to know what they are feeling by feeling the same emotion internally. So when I feel that particular feeling, I ask them, are you feeling this? And then they acknowledge it, yes. So my system, every healer's system becomes really sensitive to reflect those emotions and to understand what the client is really going through. They may speak it or they may not speak it. And especially when you place the hands on their body, you just get all the information out. A lot of body healing processes cut through or actually go through much deeper without the words. A client nahi bhi batayega na, to bhi the moment I place my hands on their body, I will know what the emotion is internally.
What I'm about to ask now is, I would say, 1 out of the third person will relate. And they have seen and suffered this in silence. Many survivors have not told their story to anyone till date. I mean, बहुत rare ही कोई होता है, like you did, people don't talk about it. They suffer, they hold it, they bottle it up, they try different ways. What is it that one should do when they get to know that this is what has been the cause?
You will never be able to talk about it until you keep holding yourself accountable for everything. Shame के साथ एक बहुत बड़ा wound आता है, वो है guilt का. Shame अकेली नहीं आती. Shame guilt को accompany करके लाती है. Shame और guilt तब तक exist करते हैं जब तक हम इसको under the wraps रखते हैं. We never acknowledge it. We don't open up about it. We never talk about it. तो इसमें से बात करके ही निकल सकते हैं. The moment you call a spade, the moment you say, yes, this is exactly what has happened to me, and that's the first premise that I hold in my classes, Neha. The first thing we do is we identify. We acknowledge what has happened. We give it a name, we give it a feeling, we give it an intensity, we give it a number. We completely identify what is it that I'm dealing with. I was hearing somebody's podcast while I was driving here, and very beautifully this person said, you cannot heal through anything until you sit down to think about it. You have to give yourself time to think about those things that you have always wanted to forget, move past, brush under the carpet, never deal with it. You've told your mind, bhul ja, bhul ja, bhul ja, bhul ja, bhul ja. But your body is keeping score of every single emotion that you have dealt with. It sits there. और वो कब show up होती है? In your tiny reactions. आपके अंदर self doubt अगर भरा हुआ है and you're not sure of anything, आप बार बार कभी डोर चेक करोगे, कभी गाड़ी का लॉक चेक करोगे, कभी
OCD बोल देते हैं
हम उसको OCD का नाम दे रहे हैं, but what is it? I'm not unsure of myself and I'm not focused in the present moment. Why am I not focused in the present moment? Is because I've never dealt with the past. I haven't cleared up my baggage. When there are 10,000 tabs open in my mind, I'm not focused on even one. You have to close, tick, 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 tick. You have to go shut, 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 shut. Process each one, close all those doors, and be present fully here in this very moment. You cannot be here until you are living in fragmented in the past.
We're talking about traumas. हमारे relationships में, even couples के relationship में भी, we spoke about daughter, we spoke about, how parents' relationship is. Even I think couples के relationship में भी आपके traumas बहुत major role play करते हैं. How you react to certain situations, like, as small as jealousy, as small as cheating, as big as divorce, or as small as divorce, whatever you want to call it. हर चीज़ कहीं ना कहीं से deep rooted चली आ रही है. आज हम अपने relationship में जो हैं, वो हम अपने पास्ट की वजह से हैं. कहीं ना कहीं ट्रॉमास भी होते हैं, कहीं ना कहीं एक्सपेक्टेशंस भी होती हैं, कहीं ना कहीं कंडीशनिंग भी होती है. इन सर्टन सिचुएशंस वी समटाइम्स लैंड अप अट्रैक्टिंग टॉक्सिक पार्टनर्स. और वो एक बार नहीं होता, हर बार सेम टाइप का इंसान हमारी लाइफ में आता है. हर बार सेम टाइप के फ्रेंड्स हम अट्रैक्ट करते हैं. क्यों?
क्योंकि ट्रॉमा का नेचर है that it will always live in repetitive patterns. Trauma event नहीं होता है, trauma memory भी नहीं होता है. Trauma lives inside you in the form of patterns. That means that हम उसको अगर simple language में बोले, law of attraction से अगर समझना चाहे तो whatever your vibration is exactly what you're attracting. But अगर उससे भी और deep जाकर समझने की कोशिश करें, हमने mathematics में grade 5 में समझा था कि patterns क्या होते हैं. कि dot line square circle dot line square circle is a pattern that the moment you come across a trigger, a reaction shows up inside your body. When a reaction shows up, it triggers a belief system. Then the belief system brings in a whole thought process. That thought trail keeps you stuck in that particular moment. This is a pattern. You're stuck in a loop of pain. You're stuck in a loop of whatever you may want to call it, but it's a loop. It's a loop, and you are constantly living in that loop. आप उसी के अंदर गोल गोल घूमते जा रहे हो without understanding कि इसका सिर कहाँ है और पैर कहाँ है, and how do I even break out of it. Everybody wants to break out of that pattern. हमें ये
Everybody,
मालूम है कि ये बार बार ये लोग अट्रैक्ट हो रहे हैं, बार बार मनी का पैटर्न आ रहा है, बार बार रिलेशनशिप का पैटर्न आ रहा है, बार बार अपॉर्चुनिटी आती है और लूज आउट हो जाती है. Why does this happen to me? We are questioning it, but we don't know how to start healing, and from where do I even begin breaking this pattern? The only point you can start breaking this pattern is at the point of creation. The point of creation is where it even began from. Man lo, if you were 3 years of age and somebody told you look like a monkey, and all your life you've been trying to correct yourself because you are internally judging yourself and you behave a certain way, you're so conscious about yourself just because someone passed a nasty comment on you. What's the point of creation? That very moment when someone said something negative to you and you believed it to be true for you. Anything that happens in a child's life between 0 to 7 years of age, the child believes it to be true.
You know, what you're saying, it's taking me back to a time where I used to have a boycott. You know, both my parents were working, so they treated me like a boy. आज भी, I cannot act like a girl. मेरे अंदर ना वो लटके झटके हैं ही नहीं. Set हो गया. I am a tomboy. You know, as much as I want to act like a girl, swear like a girl, I can't. So it's set. It's nothing negative. Yeah. There is nothing negative about it. But like you said, कि एक बार बोल दिया कि ये आप मतलब बचपन में बोल देते थे कि ये तो हमारा बेटा है, ये तो हमारा बेटा है.
So there has to be some conditioning underneath, no?
Yeah. So वो होते today my husband also tells me, my father-in-law tells me कि तू मेरा तीसरा बेटा है. So that has become the real me. I'm like somewhere deep down those feminine stuff has taken a back seat in my life. And somewhere children absorb everything that is spoken. And जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि children are like soft sponge. जो घर में हो रहा है around, and that could be good, that could be bad. So knowingly, unknowingly, बच्चे सब देख रहे हैं, सब समझ रहे हैं, and that makes them what they will become tomorrow. What parents should think of, and how a healthy environment of a house should be, apart from like what we discussed कि बात करनी चाहिए, एक openness होनी चाहिए. What else do you think a normal parent should do in the house to keep the harmony and keep children connected? Because मीडिया है, सोशल मीडिया, आजकल बच्चे सारा टाइम स्क्रॉल कर रहे हैं. हाउ टू कीप देयर अटेंशन टुवर्ड्स नॉर्मल ह्यूमन बीइंग्स?
One thing I have noticed is that we are in an era of everybody being the number one, all right? And that kind of has put in the pressure on every single family. We constantly judge ourselves as parents. We constantly compare ourselves as parents to other parents. We constantly compare our children to other children. And that has put so much pressure on families. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ना the fun moments of a family are actually missing. एक बच्चा अपने घर के अंदर बैठने से ना कतरा रहा है आज, because कोई common connection है ही नहीं families के बीच में. You remember हमारे बचपन में हम क्या करते थे? जब गर्मियाँ आती थी, बड़ी सी पेटी आती थी मैंगो की. हम सब मिलके वो मैंगोज को वॉश करते थे, एक बड़ी बकेट में बर्फ डालते थे, उन मैंगोज को उस बकेट में डालते थे, पूरी फैमिली साथ में बैठ के मैंगोज एंजॉय करती थी. एंड टुडे everybody's got their own bowls, their own forks, their own televisions, their own phone screens. Everybody is living a independent solo life. The moments of connection are really, really missing. So healthy environment, as much as we want to, as much as we want our children to come and communicate with us, हम भी तो वो provide नहीं कर पा रहे ना नेहा.
I think somewhere हमारे आपस में couples में भी वो नहीं है. साथ में बैठ के खाना खाना, separate rooms है आजकल लोगों के, couples के separate
rooms. अपने आपस में ही separate rooms है.
तो बच्चों को कहाँ से वो वाली चीज?
Everybody's just coexisting. What is a family? A family shares thoughts, emotions, feelings, what their accomplishments were, what their wins and losses were through the day. Those conversations are missing.
Because we're not doing it with our kids, we're not doing it with our partners. And then eventually we land up talking to somebody who either, makes it a bad name for us, or कहीं ना कहीं वो हमें एक वो वाला हमारे बारे में बात करके मजाक उड़ा दिया, और फिर हमारा इंसानियत से विश्वास खत्म हो जाता है.
And then we go and think कि यार इसको escape करने के लिए अब दोस्तों के पास चले जाओ, दोस्तों को escape करने के लिए अब कहाँ जाओ?
Alcohol पी लो, drugs ले लो, which has become like so, like
So
kids
everybody is
today.
trying to numb their systems instead of addressing those issues. मेरे घर में एक ritual है. Post dinner, all 4 of us, in fact the 5 of us, all 5 of us have to be in the same room sitting and talking post dinner. In just 10-15 minutes of chit chat of just sharing what went by, कल का क्या plan है, आज क्या क्या हुआ. Tiny moments like these are the best moments, like an ice cream drive. Random ice cream drives, not even planned. Like, chalo baito gaadi mein, fatafat, let's go, grab an ice cream. Fun moments we'll have to create the bond. If we take out the fun out of that relationship, और हम सिर्फ अपने बच्चों को यही पूछते जा रहे हैं, तुम्हारे स्कोर्स का क्या हुआ, तुम्हारे कॉलेज एडमिशन्स का क्या हुआ, तुम्हारे एग्जाम्स की प्रेपरेशन का क्या हुआ, तुम फोन छोड़ दो. आज पेरेंट्स क्या कर रहे हैं? एवरीबडी इज जस्ट फोकस्ड ऑन वन थिंग. मेरा बच्चा पढ़ाई नहीं करता और इसका फोन ले लेना चाहिए मुझे. एंड यू आर सिंपली like a screwdriver, putting this thought in the mind of that child, your phone is your biggest enemy. That phone is keeping that child connected to the world. That phone is giving that child a lot of peace of mind, which he's not receiving at home or she's not receiving at home. Everybody's busy. Where does the child need feed himself? Which is why the child is feeding her own needs through the phone.
Because हमने अपना ही नहीं solve करा है,
Exactly.
तो उसको कहाँ से
आप खाली पात्र से कैसे दे दोगे ना नेहा? आपका पात्र भरा होगा तो आप बच्चे को कुछ दे पाओगे ना. So that's exactly what I said. I work on the root cause. The root cause is your own healing first. The moment you get down to that kind of an environment, trust me, your family will become this aware, conscious, living, happy environment where everybody is sensitive to each other's needs. किसी के बिना बोले उसकी needs पूरी हो जाए, किसी के बिना बोले उसकी feelings समझ आ जाए, वो तब होंगी ना when you give yourself the time and scope to deal with your own emotions. When you are so fogged up with your own mind कि आपके 1000 tabs खुले हुए हैं आपके दिमाग में, will you have any space to look at what your child needs or your husband needs or your wife needs?
I read that you do somatic healing. What's that?
So a whole lot of soma is what? Emotions. So soma can be processed or emotions can be processed through various processes. Like I do a lot of body healing because from where I come and from the kind of practices that I have, a whole lot of your emotions go and get stuck in your physical body. So when a client comes to me, in my retreats or in my healing sessions, they go through a lot of body healing processes. And with some frequencies, with some sound, with some intention holding, and with me processing a lot through my body and holding space for them to heal, I help them release those emotions from their physical body. That's why you see a lot of my videos, like people are releasing a lot of emotion. They're with sometimes tears, with sometimes sound, with sometimes body, showing up those signs. Because where does it live? Where does trauma actually go and live? Itne processes bolte hain that you need to go and process your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. That's not where trauma lives, my dear ones. Trauma goes and lives inside your physical body.
So wherever you feel the pain is where it is getting stored.
Yeah. It could be a sensation, it could be heaviness, it could be numbness, it could be feeling stuck, it could be whatever feeling is constantly coming back in your life. Your body has also been communicating the same through pain or through intensity or through sensation or through numbing of that area.
But ऐसा कुछ होता है कि जैसे shoulder pain है तो वो इस reason की वजह से है.
Shoulder is all about where do you hold responsibility? On your shoulders. So when your shoulders are hurting, your body is naturally trying to say, hey, you know what, too much weight on your shoulders, yeah. Can you release this baggage? Whenever somebody comes to me with a thyroid, my first question to them is, what have you been holding on and what have you not spoken up? What's your truth that you're holding on that you've never felt safe to even speak it? And without sharing words, their tears roll down. Because that's their moment of feeling seen, feeling acknowledged.
Somewhere in between you said anger is not the problem, it's the symptom. A symptom of what?
Anger is always a symptom. Anger itself is a symptom. When a person is angry, you go and ask them what's underneath the anger, they'll always say, I'm hurt. Anger is the way they express their hurt. It could be rejection, it could be abandonment, it could be loss, it could be you did not love me back the way I wanted you to be there for me. It could be any feeling wherever you felt unreciprocated, unloved, not appreciated, not validated, not approved of, completely cut off, and then your body stores onto that hurt and you don't know how to communicate because you don't want to look you don't want to look weak. So how do you tell the other person? You see very common pattern in couples. Okay? If I want to tell you I really love you and I really miss you, is how will I communicate to you? You were not there for me. I was calling you 10,000 times. Why didn't you pick up my phone? I'm being angry. But what am I feeling? I'm feeling deprived of your love. I'm feeling the weight of not being reciprocated. I'm feeling the lack of love in this moment, but how do I communicate is through anger. So anger na problem nahi hai. Or anger is actually fuel. All emotions were given to you for a reason, Neha. When I went through sexual abuse in my life, I was hurt and I was angry. I was raging. I would fight with myself the most. And I would get sad, angry and upset internally. I never felt it was safe for me to speak it out. So I would keep it all in and then fall sick. My body would fall sick. I would get a throat infection very often. I would get a lower back pain very often and a cervical attack. So my body was trying to communicate all of this through physical symptoms. Physical symptoms ना तब आते हैं जब आप इतनी अति हो जाती है ना मन की कि वो अब emotion handle नहीं हो रही, then it comes on the physical body. But that anger was actually intensity of energy building up, which I was not able to understand initially, right? And I thought my body is low on immunity and I thought my body cannot sustain high energy work and I get tired and I get exhausted. No, it was in fact the energy of anger, energy of intensity building up inside me, which wanted me to take up a stand for me, which wanted me to speak up because my throat was getting affected, which was wanting me to offload all the guilt and the shame that I was carrying on my shoulders, and it wanted me to support myself with my lower back. So my body was communicating everything that it wanted me to do. Magar, in our own limited understanding of what my body is trying to communicate, we keep projecting it on our partners. Most fights between couples are because a partner is dealing with unresolved wounds, unmet needs, and they keep projecting it on their partners, putting it on their shoulders that it is now your responsibility to always come back and love me, always come back and nurture me, always come back and give me all the love, support, whatever you may need. So the moment you stand up for yourself like a warrior and use this energy of anger instead of mera bada problem hai with the way healing has been portrayed in today's times by saying maaf kar do, forgive kar do, to aapki healing ho jayegi. My point is that forgiveness and letting go always comes at the last point. Ye first point of healing kabhi ho hi nahi sakta hai unless you have dealt with the rage, unless you have dealt with the anger, unless you have used the anger to construct your life in a new way. You're wasting that powerful energy that was given to you through the pain. That pain was given to you for a reason. What was the reason? हम क्यों आए इस धरती पे, हम क्यों ये जीवन जी रहे हैं? What's the purpose of this life? To learn. But what are we doing with the fuel that was given to us? अगर आज आकर नेहा आपको कुछ गलत नहीं बोलता तो आप अपनी लाइफ में पावरफुल फील करते कभी भी? नहीं करते ना. It was given to you on purpose. वो पेन का पर्पस था for you to activate this powerful Neha energy, for you to learn to respect yourself so much that now nobody dares say anything to you. Simple. But what do? वो जो फायर मिली, हम उस फायर के ऊपर पानी डालने लगे हुए हैं. Forgive, 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 forgive करके. First construct your life, then forgive. You're missing out on the energy of construction.
There is so much that I need to talk to you. My God. I wish this could go on. But yes, before I let you go, there are two things I want to know. You heal everyone. Who heals you?
Hanuman ji.
To everyone who's listening to us right now and who've spent almost an hour with us, what do you want them to walk away with? A message for them.
If you have felt rejected, if you have felt hurt, do not shy away from standing up for yourself. My simple ask from, we want world peace. But we cannot achieve peace unless we have peace internally, within our own hearts, within our own homes, within our own families first. And that journey will begin with us, me, myself. So the moment I start to heal my own wounds, I stop the war internally, the external war will end.
100%. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Neha. This was a beautiful conversation.